Once you understand the whole power of what is to be a human being, that you can extend that in all directions, toward your family, your children, toward your future, so there isn't a limitation on anything you can do. Okay, welcome. I'm Dr. Barry Morguelan, and almost everybody, because I'm a gastroenterologist and an endoscopic surgeon, I was trained at UCLA, and I've had 30 years of practicing really hard, difficult surgeries and medicine, both at UCLA and Los Angeles, and teaching in multiple locations. Everybody knows me as Dr. B, though. They don't know me as Dr. Barry Morguelan, because as I traveled throughout the world and did a lot of pediatrics, the children could, when I'd say, "Oh, hi, I'm Dr. Morguelan," and they'd all go. Then I would say, "Okay, kids, I'm Dr. Barry Morguelan." They go, "Okay, I'm Dr. B." And they go, "B, B, 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 B." And so then for the rest of my life in the world, I guess for the past 18 years, everybody knows me as Dr. B. So say hello, Dr. B. If you call or check our website or anything and look for my name, you'll probably see B, okay? So that's it. All right, so welcome. So how did I get even involved in this wonderful thing that we're going to do today? Well, I started out wonderfully excited with surgery, having been able to help a lot of people. And then I guess it was about 3 or 4 years. I'd already had wonderful research. I was walking in the room of one of my patients who I held dearly, Mrs. Rodriguez. She's an elderly woman, has about 9 children. And I said, "Okay, we're all, because this was discharge day." And so I was all excited, the white coat, walking in with a clipboard. You've seen this before, at least on TV. And I was saying, "You get to go home today." And I sat down with her and I held her hand because I knew her and knew the family. And I said, "So you get to go home. How's it going?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm so happy that tumor's out. Thank you so much." And so I said, "Anything else?" And she said, but she takes my arm. She says, "But I'm still in pain." And I said, "What kind of pain?" I said, "Your incision's good." She says, "Well, all the weeks before they sent me to you, and all the time to find the diagnosis, and all the discomfort and what was going on, and all the anxiety, and then taking care of all my children. And then, it was all this delay and pain about having to go back to all that and all that rush. And now I have to go back and try to fix all the things that I have been away from now that I've had this operation, even though I'm really happy you fixed it." And I looked at her and I said, "Wouldn't it be great?" Think about this for a minute. I looked, and it was almost like sunlight came in through the window at UCLA while I was talking to her. And I said, "Wouldn't it be great, Miss Rodriguez, if you never had to go through anything like this at all? None. You didn't have to go through colonoscopy, surgery, pre-op, none of that stuff. Wouldn't it be great if actually every day of your life you could get better and stronger without ever having to seek medical care or any kind of, take anything extraneous, and it was like within you that you could get stronger? What if you were really made that way?" And she looked at me and she reached out her hand and she said, "If anybody can do it, you can do it." And so it was like my charge at that moment that I'm going to do this. I'm going to find something that doesn't exist yet. And it didn't exist. You have to understand, 25 years ago, what did we have? I don't know what city you're from, if everybody's here from West Coast or the United States or other places, but we had maybe donut shops and maybe a few vitamin shops. That was it. We didn't even have croissants. We didn't. And we had no good coffee either. It was terrible. And so I went on a search, 160,000 miles. And I went about every 3 months. Let's see. This is our company that we eventually started, okay? And so most people would get confused if they saw this, but that's actually what happened. I went about 160,000 miles, and I traveled as many places as I thought there might be some type of modality. So when I went to England or into Rome or into Paris or into Asia, and I would say, "Listen, I'm going to teach you all." We do a trade, endoscopic surgery from, Los Angeles, and then we're going to talk. And they'd say, oh, sure, whatever you want to talk about. And then I'd say, I really want to know, do you have something alternative, something integrative, something where you don't have to do what I'm doing for you? And they go, you're at the top of your field. You're teaching us. You want something my great-grandmother's using? That's not going to work. So then I had to learn all about things which I'm sure you all have become very versed in over the years. Got a degree in herbology, got a degree in acupuncture, got a degree in, or at least studied with a lot of people with crystals. Crystal theory, went to Brazil and South America. Actually, at one time, I didn't look like this. Can you imagine? I mean, you can't. But robes and long hair and sort of the whole shaman outfit so that you walked and you talked fun. But I don't do that anymore. Because my goal was to bring it back to Miss Rodriguez and all of us, so that you never had to have this experience that life, which is given to you from day one, is something like, well, each day you sort of deal with life, and then the next day, and then there's your people older than you who are dealing with it a little less able, and then those people who are older are dealing with it a little less able, and you see life has a decline to it. And what I wanted you to have, what I was looking for, was whether you could have life be something that you got stronger every day. That everything you did, whether it was in relationships, whether it's in your physical health, whether it's in your desire to have, something created, like write a book, or have a great relationship, or make a great deal of financial success, I wanted you to be able to do that on your own, without having to see anybody else. And so, of course, how do you think the doctors at UCLA said to me when I would come back from these studies? Because they say, found it yet? And I'd go, not yet. They go, you're never going to find it. You're looking for a fountain of youth. It doesn't exist. You're at the top of your field. Just give them surgery or drugs. And I said, no, I will keep looking. So finally, it took 6.5 years, finally ended up in China. And one research place and one surgical place led to another. So finally, I actually got to work with their national treasure. No Americans ever worked with him, ever. And he's guarded all the time, and he's the repository, the source for all of Chinese medicine. And if any of you studied Chinese medicine, we can go through that with any you can read about it, Wan Di and the Yellow Emperor and the Yin Yang symbol, but all that had to be sourced someplace, and it got sourced way, way, way back and then passed down as an oral tradition. But it never had been passed out as something you could read, or better, with a set of courses that you could use, and you do it as at home and go, oh, today I don't feel like doing a 3-mile run. Do this practice first, like you're going to be doing later. We're going to get to this. Or the breathing exercise. It's all done for you. And then you'll all of a sudden feel 18 again. And when I saw that was possible, and that's possible because at times you've been in those circumstances where all of a sudden you did great. Has anyone here ever hit a good golf shot? Has anyone here ever hit a good softball or baseball, connected with a bat, a home run? Has anyone ever got on the floor and really danced better than they ever thought possible? Has anyone here ever picked out the right tie or right shirt without effort and said, hey, that really looks good? So what it was is you got the access to being in the zone, to being in flow right away. And that is one of the steps into your power position. And that's what I was able to translate over the years, going back and forth with the Grand Master, to learn these techniques to bring them back to you, because they'd never been translated before. And so now we have them for you at Energy for Success, /breathe, so that you can actually access those. And I'm going to lead you through those right now, if you're interested. Are you? All right, good. So this is what was my goal. That I wanted you to stop being diverted from what I said is your natural state, who you really are. Who you are without having to take a bunch of pills, or without having to take, say I'm happy, without having to do anything. Just wake out of bed and go, I'm ready to go on stage, let's do it. Let's do life. That's what I wanted you to have. And when you look at this, the only reason I showed the surfer was I wanted to remind you, if you've ever watched anyone competing, it's fascinating, isn't it? And your mirror neurons sort of connect to him. And he's one of our clients, but the point is, why do we watch? Because we can almost sense that if we had the training or something, we could have that access. Well, what if all of life is opening yourself up so that you naturally can perform at your highest level? Would you be interested? Okay, so let's talk about Terry. Terry is a lady who came to me one time, and she was about this tall, and she lived with her 4 sisters and what she said is her hover mother, okay? And she said that it's like, I really want to be successful, I want to be out on my own, what can I do? And I'm just starting out in sales. So I said, just do these guided breathing visualizations, like the one we're going to be showing you, and we're going to offer you some later. What she did was she started doing them, and she'd call me and say, I'm doing better, what do I do now? And I said, well, how's your anxiety? She says, it's almost under control. Every time I listen to a breathing exercise, I feel ready to go to work. And then she went to what she called, sorry guys, but she called it a male-dominated sales force, and in a big IT company. And yet she was able, this little tiny person, to speak up over and over again. She had no training in speaking up. She wasn't even doing well with her sisters at home. So you have to see that all of a sudden she says, I said, well, where do you think it's coming from? She says, I'm in that zone. That's what I want you to get, that you have it within you to be here, and that's the point, that you get to be there, and it comes from within, and all you have to do is learn these physical and breathing techniques, and you'll be able to tap into it. So she kept progressing until finally she's been raised to the level where she's the top performer in her entire huge IT company, which is on the New York Stock Exchange now, and is one of the most successful companies, and she's giving talks to 200 people on how to do sales. And her salary, you don't want to hear about it. You don't want to hear about it. That's why they put her up there. She's got to be, they're worried she's going to leave and go to another company and be a division manager. And do you know why I tell you that story is because just like the Grand Master told me when we were at the very end, and he says, you're ready to go back to the Western world and give them these techniques and give them these abilities to experience it. Because you know that you have special, think about it, special powers inside of you. Whether you raised your hand early or not, think about it for a minute. Or close one eye for a minute, think about it, or both eyes. Say there's been times you've had special powers. Maybe you didn't lift the car off the baby, but there was times that all of a sudden you just felt good that day, and you really wanted to make sure that you could make it happen, no matter what day, what age, or who you were with. So like Terry, I'd like for you to do today a guided breathing visualization, and then we're going to do a physical exercise. But she's still crushing it, and she and you and me are all the same. We all have it within us. So I'd like for you to know that for today we're going to go through a guided breathing visualization like she went through, and of course we have it on an app for you if you're interested. And we also have physical practices, which I'm going to show you about. But let's start doing the guided breathing visualization. So close your eyes and take everything off your lap. Okay, close your eyes, take everything off your lap. We're going to be together for about 15, 20 minutes. I'll let you know. No one's going to touch you, no one's going to come up to you, but I do need for you to take everything off your lap and put your arms by your side. Okay? Now, close your eyes and take, a deep breath. We don't need eyes open during this time. There's nothing actually to see except float along with me during the guided visualization. And I want you to recognize that for this moment now, you don't take any notes, you don't need your camera, nothing, just this is for you. Take this in. We're going to give you something like this later anyway. I want you to have this now. So just relax and let the chair hold you. And recognize it's not that difficult to just let your shoulders go back against the chair a bit. And let your waist sort of be held a little bit more comfortably. That's right, move your waist around a little bit in the chair, or if you're lying down on the floor, either way. And just allow yourself, it's okay to yawn. It's okay, let that out. It's okay to yawn. And recognize that it's really interesting that your neck is, give it a break, let it relax. So let your neck just sort of fall back a little bit, just a little bit, just slightly or a little more, or let it do its own thing and let it go back as far as you want, and then bring it forward just a little bit, and then just let it rest, like it has a chance to just be floating there for a moment. Because as the time goes on, less and less is needed from any kind of grit or effort, and more where the power comes from is you're connecting without effort. this wonderful source energy. So as you take a deep breath, almost everybody can notice that the first part of your breath lands somewhere in the front of your chest. I'll take one with you. And you can let it out slower than that, and you can take it in deeper than that. But one thing you'll notice is that as you take in that deep breath and let your neck still stay relaxed and your shoulders comfortable against the chair, that breath actually can go down quite a bit deeper. That the sides of your chest, you can allow that to expand too. Go ahead. And as you take another breath, what's really fun to notice is that as you start to breathe, the spaces that occur between your nasal area, your mouth, and down through your throat, those spaces actually begin to give you more room to breathe. So you can breathe right down through that heart space, right down through the lung space. Go ahead. And then you can breathe into the abdomen through all those spaces, throughout all those different supportive organs that are there. Go ahead, and your abdomen can even inflate. Go ahead. And even more spaces can open up as you take a breath, and notice that you can breathe down through your hips, through those sort of bones that make a bowl that you sit on, and it's sort of cool that there's so much room in there. You're mostly air anyway. So it's plenty of room to breathe into. And it's okay to yawn. And as you relax back and breathe down into your thighs, all those muscles can take a break too. Your low back, your thighs. You breathe through each one of those and then down through the knees and then back up. And then what starts to become apparent, if you'll just relax for a minute and look at that screen where you're just above your eyebrows, that there's actually sort of a dark space there in front of your forehead. Keep your eyes closed, but it's there. Sometimes it's grayish, sometimes it's blackish, sometimes it's motioned, sometimes it's static, sometimes it's not smooth, sometimes it's pebbly, but you might notice just for a flicker, like a lightning bug, that there might be, with your eyes closed, a little light flicker off to the left or off to the right. And as you breathe, it almost like you can start to see them even clearer if you have that breath cycle going down and up. And those little lights can actually coalesce so that you're catching them in the center, and they form a little ball, a gold, silver, platinum ball that sort of rotates. It doesn't really ever stop. It'll keep rotating to the left or to the right, or it'll stop and then back itself around. It's quite fascinating just to watch that. But for right now, let's just take a deep breath. And as you see that gold, silver, sort of rough edge ball, if you see it, great. If you sense it, great. If you just would like to experience going with this, great. Just breathe as if you had a gold, silver ball, planet. Then it goes down, little ball, little tiny dot. And as you breathe it down, this time breathe it where the breath went. So breathe it down through the nose, down through the neck, down through your heart space, down through your chest. And when it gets to your chest, you can just let it divide into thousands of balls and go into all those alveoli inside your lung. Yeah, it's okay. And it'll keep rolling back as you breathe. It'll follow your breath. Go ahead. So breathe it down. And like this spray of little gold, silver, platinum dots go through there, and they come back up through your throat, back up into that spot in your forehead, and then take over. Send it down through the back of your neck so that that space that's holding your head can take a further break. And your shoulder blades, they can drop. They can take it easy too. So as you allow that gold, silver, platinum dot to go down through each space, through your spine, down through one vertebra to the next vertebra, then all of a sudden you notice that it can keep going straight down and divide and go through your legs. And as it goes through your legs, what's really interesting is it'll circle back up just when it gets to the bones of your feet. All those little tiny bones, who knows how they hold you up? But there's all different shaped bones, and they're connected by lots and lots of space. So watch that gold, silver dot just sort of roll around there like a pinball in between each one of those spaces. You don't have to tell it to do anything, just let it flow. And as you breathe it back up, all the way up, back up through your legs, up through your abdomen, up through your chest, and then back up through, right through your head. Yeah, you can just let it go above your head. So let it go up about 6 feet like a geyser, way above your head. And watch it up there through the inside. And notice that it sort of bubbles up there, and it'll stay there if you want. Take a deep breath, and let's watch it as it starts to ascend, and starts to ascend up through the blue of the atmosphere, up through the clouds. And it's safe. You can just sort of hold on to that little pathway that's leading from the ball as it's safely taking you up in through these clouds that are so refreshing. You can let the little sparklets of the clouds sort of, cleanse the back of your neck and under your arms and around your pelvis so that you really feel refreshed. And then you keep rising though, because this ball's taking us somewhere really cool. So as it comes up and keeps leading us, it takes up to this wonderful blue space. And the space is so blue, but you can see through it. It's amazing. You can stick your hand through it, but it's still blue. And you can look all the directions you want. You can look forward as far as you want and backward as far as you want. And you keep rising. Notice that in the distance, there's these mountains that keep being covered with all different types of foliage or colors or snow. And then there's like a volcano way out there that's spewing up colors. So that over your head, you see these threads of red, orange, green, yellow, purple, even periwinkle. All these different threads that keep shooting way up in the sky from this volcano over your head. And so it forms almost like this huge net that you can use, as the ball takes you up above this net, you can lay into the net now and let it hold you as you go up higher like a hammock. And as you allow yourself to breathe and go up higher, you can start to recognize that on either side of you are these beautiful, beautiful, wonderful mountains that have green and pathways all through these mountains. As if you could, we could step off for a second and just actually take one of these paths, and that wonderful hammock will just wait for us. And that ball will just lead us on this well-worn, soft pathway that's it's been worn down. It's dirt, but it's very, very fine. And you can walk on that and keep walking until finally you go around the back of this mountain and you see there's this gorgeous lake where you can put your feet in. Go ahead. Take your shoes off while you're in there. Experience the cold, the wet, the joy of that wet surface of being in the water. And you can look in the water and see so deep. Actually, you can see what's feeding the lake, which is this gorgeous waterfall. And you can get up and walk around under the waterfall. And as you go under the waterfall and put your hands there and feel the water, it just makes all the spaces on the outside of your body and inside of your body able to move in a way that you could stay under there and get this shower for as long as you wanted. You can even put a check mark here on one of the walls and say, I think I want to come back here. Check this out again. This could be a good space for me, and it's okay to yawn. And as you start to recognize that there's so many beautiful green areas around this lake and flowers that are extending up the hill, you can see this is a place I need to explore. But for right now, what would be great is to walk around the edge of the lake. And as you come around the edge of the lake, you can start to see this big panorama up the huge mountain. And then you can start to see that the hammock is here waiting for you with the gold silver ball and beckoning you to get on and just relax onto the hammock and start to enjoy taking a path going down, 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 around, down, down, around, and down until finally you land on this wonderful white sandy beach that's really fine sand, almost like silk. It doesn't even hold to your fingers. There's an ocean feeding your feet back and forth. And you can lie on this wonderful warm sand and look way up in the sky and say, there's a lot more here for me every day to use and enjoy. And as you see that, you look behind you, and on the hill behind you, there's this huge tree with a branch that has a leaf falling from it. And as that leaf falls down to the grass and gently makes it to the grass, you know that's the time to lock all this in so that we can have a huge result for the rest of the day and tomorrow and the next day. So with your eyes closed, what you want to do is to rub your hands. That's right. Just get a little friction. Doesn't have to be hot. It can be cold. Just rub your hands. Nobody's looking. It's okay to yawn. And then put your hands over your eyes. Either left hand on left eye, right hand on right eye. You can put them at a distance. You can put them right on top of them. And just take that in, but enjoy. Let it go in. Let it feed the sulci of your brain. Let the pineal and the pituitary just get a break. Let all that flow through to the back of your neck. And this is a good time to make a goal for the week. Just a simple goal, just one goal. I'd like to have great success in my body being super strong all day, today and tomorrow and each week. And then rub your hands, get some friction, put it over your chest. And just let it in. You can put one hand on top of the other. You can put them together. And it's okay to smile at this point with your eyes closed. Nobody's watching. And then take that in. Deep breathe. Go ahead. And let that flow back to your heart and to that part of the thoracic spine in the middle, and cervical spine, upper spine, lower spine. Let it just go all the way through so all those areas can take it into. You don't have to guide it. It'll go. It'll go for you. It's okay to make a goal here. It's a good time. So you can make a goal for, I'd really like to have a great relationship in any form, at home, at work, with myself. Simple. And just let loose. Smile, take it in. No grit necessary. Then, rub your hands again. We're at the last one of these three spots, and you're going to put your left hand on your right hand on the left, either way, or at a distance from your belly button. Just put them down at the belly button area. And take that all in, whatever. If you experience something, sometimes you may experience cool, sometimes you may experience heat, sometimes you may experience a pulsation. All of those are part of the whole spectrum of all the vibrations that are here for you to support you to succeed. So you don't want to monitor or try to adjust them, because it's a continuous upsurging program here on this planet to gain more and more each day, to be better and more able and more successful in an easier way than you ever thought possible. It's okay to smile. Some people have a Buddha smile at this position. And yes, you do want to make a goal if you wish. Something has to do with your success in you pick. The energy itself is connected, the source energy is connected to 8 specific areas. It can be financial. You could want tremendous monetary success in something. Go ahead. It can be in creativity. You want to create something so magical tomorrow in terms of your writing, script writing. You have so many writers and people that are painters and artists, politicians, people that want to create something for the good of mankind. Win-win. Let that go, and then feel your feet in the room, and then come back and open your eyes and get ready for Mark. So who is Mark? Well, before we talk about Mark, how was it? Anybody feel anything or enjoy any of that? Was it fun? Yeah, and it's what I welcome you is to stay in touch because the results are going to be profound as it happens. It's going to be more and more. It isn't going to be instantaneously that you have gold shoes. You're going to keep seeing it in your day because then it gives you something to live forward to, right? So what about Mark? Mark is a guy who came to me, and he looks like some of you all who I've already seen when I was watching you yesterday as you were walking in. And a lot of the people here are very robust and strong, work out a lot, I imagine, or at least you're following some healthy program, and I really like that. So Mark is like a really strong guy, and he's a businessman. He really wanted to have success in his Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Qigong training program that he was in for years, and he'd never been able to get his black belt. And then there was another guy named Ryan, same thing. His was in a Brazilian martial arts, and then there was another gentleman, I'm just giving you three, named Arthur, and he's a writer in Hollywood, actually. And they all said, we're not getting our black belt, and we really want to get the black belt, and we hear that these techniques will allow us to find it within ourselves without having to drink. Well, they'd already tried taking all the power drinks, have your heart rate go up or whatever, all the strengthening things, the on-label, off-label drugs, all those things. And they said, we're still not able to pass because the sensei has to say, you get your belt. And they hadn't gotten it. These are all very successful men. And so I said, okay, I will definitely have you do some energy practices. And each time you do the practice, plus the breathing exercises, you're going to open. And that's how this whole technique was source energy, because that's what the Grand Master taught me as I'm one of 12, only American-speaking, only Western-only doctor ever trained in this discipline to be able to give it to other people and translate it for your use. So I said, you're going to have to do these practices, and they're going to say, are you going to work with me? I said, no, you don't have to work with me. That's the whole beauty of this. You get to do it yourself at home. You do it at home, whenever you're going to do. Go to the gym or when you're at home, when you get out of bed, and then you do your other practices, okay? This is the tree trunk. This is source energy, so it supports all the branches of what you've been doing. I told them that I'd been to Tai Chi Mountain, if anybody's been there from China, or all the different places where all the different disciplines. Well, those disciplines had to come from a trunk, had to come from a tree trunk. And it's just like white light you see here. White light doesn't exist really. If you break it up, it has all these colors, right? So the tree trunk is the white light. The source energy is the white light. And I said, just do the practices from the source energy. And then you're going to have the access to any one of those branches that you want. And yours is Tai Chi. The other gentleman had the Brazilian. And the third one had something that was his type of Kung Fu. But they all wanted black belts. This, of course, didn't happen all on the same day. This was over a period of 2 years. But I've been doing this here for now over 16 years in the U.S., but it was always private. It was never open like this. That's why you're just hearing about it. It was always behind big stars like Vishen and other big stars that you know of, senators, governors, presidents, Olympic stars. But I was always thinking I would be the juice in the background and that they would spread it to you, but I want you to have it now. So these gentlemen all did these physical practices, and we're going to do one right now, and you're going to take it home, and you're going to get to do it. And then they, over time, after going for years, all three of them got their black belt. And I have photos that I think I've shown the guy who levitated. Did I ever show you that? Yeah, so the ones that have miraculous abilities that you didn't know inside, it's waiting for you. And tell me the truth now, come on. You know, at least on one day out of the week, at some point, you felt, I really have special powers inside. I wish I could access it. Come on. Can I have a hand raise? Who am I talking to here? The rest of the people, please look and see if that might be true or it would be something you want to uncover. Believe it or not, that was a discussion I had with my mother when she was 80. And I said, okay, Mom, I think you should be doing these practices. She goes, I don't really, come on. I don't want to do anything. And I said, yeah, but you're 80 now, and come on. It's time to start practicing these practices for your own benefit. And she did, and she made it to 100. Nobody in my family's ever made it to 100. Nobody. And you check the records, never saw a doctor after 80. No medicines either. All the other ones went away. So I've never told her story in a big public thing, but I thought you guys are so heartfelt. I'll tell you about my mother. So let's do one of the physical exercises. So stand up a second. Now, physical exercises, there's many, and they're all not difficult. Say, not difficult. It's different than Tai Chi, Qigong, all those things, is you don't have to microscopically get it just in the right place so that you can do laughing monkey. You don't have to do that, okay? Because what's within you starts out almost like a tornado, almost like that wave there. Believe it or not, the wave in you are more related than you've ever realized. And you know it when you go and sit and watch the ocean. Does anyone here like to watch the ocean at all? Yeah, it's captivating. Why? Because that's you. You in another form. And if you can connect to you in the other form and all the energy vibrations that are supporting this planet, then your special powers, you don't have to tell anybody after this, you can keep it secret, but your special powers will manifest, and then your results in writing the next great book, getting the next great job, or passing whatever personal test you want to have. So this is just a simple exercise that I brought back from China, 5,000-year-old exercise. You just make a bar above your head. Now, watch the way I'm doing it, and then I'm putting it behind my head, okay? If you put it in front of your head, it's not the same exercise, and it won't work. So I want to get this exercise to you. There's one in front, but that's not it. So has everybody got it behind their head? Now take a deep breath and tell me you're relaxed. It doesn't bother you. It should be easy. Now, while you have your hand there, notice as time goes on, and you'll see in other people, they'll have more of a square. And in Mandarin, it actually has the name square. But the point is, it's behind your head, and you're holding it up with this hand in the beginning. And if you started with the other hand, it's okay, but I'm using my right. And you're holding it up, and you're holding it down with the other hand, which is my left hand, and then it's forming a square. And where are you feeling this? Anywhere? Just below your shoulders, not in your shoulders. So you're behind your head, and you feel it here. And now all you're going to do, I know it seems easy, but you're going to love it. As you take a breath with me, we're going to take 3 breaths. We're going to go higher and higher. And as you take a breath, you're going to keep the resistance, though, here. So I'll do the first one. Watch. You see my hands go up higher? Is that visually possible out there? You didn't see it? Where do you want me to go? On the screen? You want me to come out there? Yeah, I'll come out there. Stand here? Stand right here. Okay, good. Okay, so look, see how it's behind my head? So you don't have to do anything but take a deep breath. So now I'm going to take the first deep breath, but you'll notice each time I breathe, the arms are going to go up higher. You don't have to stress about doing this right. You just have to deep breathe. So watch. Now, do you see my arms have gone up higher? You notice I'm still talking, I'm not breathing? You'll do that soon. But then, take a second breath if you can. Notice you can still go up higher. Are you aware of that? And it's just your arms going up, your back is getting more relaxed, and I haven't taken a breath yet. Maybe you can, it's okay, but take a third breath in. And then you hold it there. And some of you may be able, after you hold it, to go up a little bit more. And then slow. This is the practice one. Now, did you notice how slow my hands went? The experience you want to have is that you're not moving your hands. Something who's your favorite helper. Since we're in March, it'll be St. Patrick or a leprechaun, okay? Or an angel or whatever angel's inside of you. But the point is, now we're going to do it for real, okay? So you got out of bed in the morning. Usually I want you to do this 3 times. I want you to do this exercise, and we're going to give you a breathing exercise like the one you're hearing here anyway. But I want you to have this ready. So you ready? Now, this time we're going to do it both ways, up and down. So this way, and then we'll do it this way. You got it? So do you understand what we're doing? You all over there? Do you want me to walk over here? Can you see over there? Okay, so you notice that I'm going to switch later, and you don't hurt anything. It's all fun. So we're going to do this first, 3 breaths, and then bring our hands down. Then we're going to come up and do it the other way. Okay, let's start. Ready? First breath. And you can let your arms go as high as you want, but keep that square, okay? It's okay to smile. Take the second breath and go up higher. It should go as if you're on a flow state. You're not cranking anything. You're flowing with this. And then third breath, hold it there. And then for some of you who want to smile a little bit more, little addition there on the fourth. And then now, bring it down. But remember, this is the key part. So slow that you're going, gosh, I didn't know I could go that slow. I mean, really slower than you're doing it. Really slow. So we got one more, don't worry. So now we're going to do it with the arm switch. So come back up. Now remember, I was like this, so now I'm going to do it like that. Can you see how I switched hands? You got it? You with me? All right, so you notice I'm holding the bar. And the reason you're holding the bar is because the breath is going up straight. These are 5,000-year-old exercises. They don't look like they're difficult, and they aren't. But after you do all of them, you're ready to go. So now take a deep breath. Okay. You can go up higher on the next one. Hold that bar. Feel it behind your head, not in front. The third one. And then after you're up there, you're going to go a little bit higher. Come on. Higher. That's good. Now, the part that's fun. Let it go slow. Slower than that. Slow. You can go slower. Stop helping. Stop helping. Let something else move you. You have no idea how many sensors in your body will help you. You have more time. There is no rush on this planet to succeed. Let it come, and with a smile, just put it in the gratitude position. But the key is, guess where the gratitude position came from anyway? It's this exercise. It allows you to combine the yin, the yang, up and down, all of it together. And yes, if you want to make a goal right now, secretly to yourself, please do. Because remember, there's 8 specific areas. One's in serendipity on command, so all of a sudden you're going to meet wonderful people today that are going to be spectacular in forwarding your life here at Mind Valley. Okay, now sit down for a second. Now, did anybody enjoy that? Was it easy? Would you promise me you'll do it at home and then write me or write Vision how it works? Do it for just 30 days and then watch out, okay? And we have more for you, but I really want you to recognize you have no limits inside. Did anyone hear me? Yes. No, you didn't. Who said that? But you can feel it now. Say it, I can feel it now. When I was asked to walk by the Grandmaster to be able to, all these different tests I had to go through where I almost died multiple times, and unfortunately multiple people died in this program because that's the way it's set up, this 5,000-year-old program. When I had to walk through this huge lake where there's these snakes, I was ready to go back home to LA and do surgery. That was enough. I did not need to see if I could figure this out. But the way it was set up was in every single case, like when I was left on the mountain and it's beyond dark and they're not coming back to get me, and I'm in the middle of Big China, if you know Big China versus Small China, that's the way they called it over there, People's Republic versus Taipei, Taiwan. But the point is, one of the sacred mountains there, I'm hanging there, no one's around. I'm going, they're not coming back to get me. So how many times in your life have you felt like I'm involved in this situation, this problem, whatever I'm doing, and no one's coming here to help me right now? I need some assistance. What if the assistance is your special powers inside that you know are always there? You just always need a technique to tap into them, right? So that's what source energy is all about. That's what these practices are all about for you. And what I have for you today is first, I want the agreement that everybody believes or would like to believe, come on, you don't have to tell anybody, but that you do have really significant special powers inside, at least in one area. You're in the right room with the right guide to help you with that, so congratulations. Don't ever let that go because that's your birthright, and it can only get better from here if you never let that go. So when I came back and talked to Miss Rodriguez about it, and her whole family's now doing energy practices, how many people here from LA? So, do you know East LA? It's not usually the area you would think people would be in the backyard doing Chinese exorcism, but they're all doing it there. All right. So, what I want you to have is to recognize that these practices, and almost, we have so many practices for you that you're probably thinking, because so many people come up to me after I do these events, and they say, and you might be thinking this too, Dr. B, do you ever work with people like me? I heard about Terry, and I heard about these other guys, but, well, is it possible? Yes. The whole company, Energy for Success, / Breathe, is set up for you to get involved in a next step, which we even have as a free gift for you. So it's a guided visualization like you were involved in. You don't want to see me as a shaman, do you? Which one is me? I'm not going to tell you. There I am doing surgery, though. In China, you can, and if you read Mandarin, there's the English. You can translate it. And then here's being lost in these mountains in China. But this is what I look at when I see you, okay? So if you're interested in that, then you're on the right planet. You're going to be interested in source energy. But I see you having this ability every day when you get out of bed in every single one of the great 8, in terms of serendipity on command, in terms of great money, success, and all in win-win, right? Everything. If I get an ice cream cone, you get one too. Not like you have to wait. Or the vice versa. How many martyrs are in here where they give out ice cream cones and they end up waiting a week, a month, 3 months and never get one? No. Win-win. This whole system is set up for you to not be like Henry David Thoreau said, which was, people live lives of quiet desperation, but they don't admit it. So do we have to have that experience that, yeah, that's right, or can we just move on past that right now and have this wonderful experience every minute that we're connecting to all of the 256 vibrations that are available for you to be as powerful as you want? Doesn't matter what your age is, where you're going, what you're doing. So I've called, this is just a quick knowledge base for you. Just take a minute. I call this, and you've seen the Matrix movie, I'm sure, probably. Well, I call all the things that sort of get in your way and distract you from getting to work on time, orange cones, or people that say no. Have you ever been all excited, hey, Mom, I want to do this, or hey, family, I want to do this, or hey, employees, I want you to do this, and they go, no, no. I have something else to do, or I can't do that, or that's too much, or a no is not fun. What if all the no's sort of come from a place? What if you didn't have to deal with the no's? If you've ever skied, has anyone here ever skied? Okay, in skiing, if there's a no over here, you don't ski into it. You find a better path, and the energy gives you the path. So with the energy, what it's all about is that you're going to get the ability to have wonder and gliding. And one of the things I liked about the sweatshirt I saw yesterday, who's wearing one? One of the old sweatshirts that says wonder on it? From Mind Valley. Nobody has one. But anyway, those are cool sweatshirts. But that's guiding you toward wonder. So the Matrix is all about what keeps us worried and confused. Don't get worried and confused. Jump over to the side of being in the zone and being focused. Here's the hard part. The Matrix, if you wake up tomorrow and say, I don't need to do anything, don't need to click on to my app for Mind Valley, I don't need to read any books that he recommended, I'm just going to wake up and I'm good. That's not the best statistical way to make it. If you wanted to make it, if you could connect to source energy, which means you have to make the choice, you have to reach, when you go someplace, you have to put yourself in the game, you have to be in action. So we're going to have exercises for you to do that. So this is the courses I've been doing all over the planet for all these years, and I don't want you necessarily walking around this way next to the ocean, but I want you to know that's available. How often? Right now. Right now. And all the practices that we have for you, all of them are set up at this Energy for Success / Breathe. And it doesn't matter, because there's so many different practices we have for you, that whether it's your first experience in dealing with source energy, or whether you're somewhat familiar with it, or if you're like some clients of mine who live in Shaolin monasteries, this is material that even heavy-duty stunt actors are working with every day, and actors and actresses and people in government to be able to do your best every day. So there's really something I must tell you that I want you to know. So take a deep breath. Remember this. What would you say if I told you that, and I'm looking at the people in the back and the people here, and I'm feeling you actually, but looking at you and feeling in you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you all, and the AV. But what if all of you, all of us, are really, just think for it for just a minute, you're really more wonderful than you even realize. And what if you are more wonderful than you realize, and it's easy to access now? And what if you're more wonderful than you even could recognize, and it's available for you right now? Using source energy techniques. We have a free guided breathing visualization for you that you're going to love, and you can easily just take a picture of that link there, or we'll hand you out links later on a card. But we've got more for you to do at home so that you can actually amp up and become more and more who you are inside, which is how wonderful. When I see you tomorrow or later today, when I say how wonderful, this big smile is going to come up on your face, because you'll be feeling it and you'll be thinking it and you'll be going, you know, it isn't a mental thing. It's mental. You know this. It's this part, this, your whole body. And then when you learn that your body's even larger than that, that what you occupy is a set of vibrations that actually makes up this and makes up this space around you. And then once you understand the whole power of what it is to be a human being, that you can extend that in all directions, toward your family, your children, toward your future. So there isn't a limitation on anything you can do. So take a photo of energyforsuccess.com/breathe. Get one of those cards we have for you and fill it out and send it to us so we can send it to you, and you'll have your own breathing exercises. And then we have some other things to hand out that I've worked out with Vishen already. But I want you to know this is just the tip of the beginning of your life right now. It's only going to get better than you can imagine from here. And your access is starting when? Now. And remember, now is not a declaration for now and therefore all day it's going to be good. No. Now, if you've noticed, is now, and then 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 you're in the flow, and then you're on your board riding the wave. You see that? He can't go, the guy who we showed you on the board in the beginning, he can't go, okay, I'm ready to surf, and it's fine. The wave doesn't know that. He's got to be able to be in his world of his life. Like you're going to be able to dance later, I think. And when you're dancing, please don't get too out of control, nobody levitate. But the point is you're going to be pretty loose, and you're going to be ready to go. Go with the flow that what you feel in your body. Go with all the experience you've had. And when you talk to people today, before you have an opinion about what they say, take a breath and let them finish. You never know. You may not have to finish their sentence. They may actually have a contribution to you, because remember, the only world that's worth living in, and that's why I'm so glad Vishen's promoting this for you, is a win-win world. Because, you know, we've seen what happens to the planet with a win-lose world, right? It doesn't have anything good for people, and you don't want to be around somebody that doesn't want you to win too, do you? So you'll want to be the same way with yourself. So you don't have something inside your head or something that's communicating to you something off, so you fall off your board. So to do that, I welcome you to your future with guided breathing visualizations and the physical practices and the app and so many other things. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for letting me have this crowd.